In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do to combat Meta Andromeda update and how you can actually benefit and make even more money from this update. Matter of fact, I love this new update because it's now easier than ever to scale a brand because people don't really know what they should do anymore. The old ways stop working, this new way of doing things. I'm not going to deep dive into exactly what the Andromeda update is. I'm going to cover it quickly here. But what I'm going to do is show you exactly what to do about it, the tangible things, what the old way is, if I can scroll here, the new evolution loop, and how you can use this evolution loop to spot winners, to decode ad DNA, discover new angles, and create and launch new ads, and then evolve from there. So let's just deep dive into it. If you haven't been living under a rock for the past few months, you know about Meta Andromeda and you know what it is and what it means for you. If you don't, watch another video, I'm not going to go over that. What I'm going to go over is exactly what you should do about it. So creative is the new targeting. This is basically what it is. Creative diversification is what Meta Andromeda is. And how this looks like in your ad account is you have a campaign per objective, per offer, and you don't do any targeting, and here is where the targeting actually happens. It's in the creative variety of your different creatives. How this used to work was you picked an interest in your, not no targeting back in the day, but your actual interest, which would have, let's say, 10 million people. And if you were good at media buying, you could find these pockets of people that you could target your content to. And then within the same audience, you could find different pockets. And you didn't really need to do that much with your creative. This does not work anymore. So how it works instead is you get the total addressable market, the TAM, where, and this is huge. This is completely no targeting. So this can be everyone in your market. And you have different audiences. You don't have 3, you have hundreds, you have thousands of different audiences. And these audiences are built up by different states. So partly they can be like blonde chicks who'd like to do these things and she doesn't do this. This is the products that she usually buys. And that's like an audience, and within those audiences there are different states that they're in. Some are problem aware, some are solution aware, and some are completely unaware, and then on and on and on. So what you need to do is first you need to really know who you're selling to, who's your targeted audience, and then this is where the creative variety comes in. You need to make different creatives for the different states that they're in. So you can't just make one broad ad that's going to rule them all. You need to create a bunch of different not variations, different ad concepts and different ad angles to target these people. This is the Meta Andromeda update, and this is what you need to do. And you already know this, but how do you actually do this? So the old way looked like this. You would brainstorm ideas, you would produce them from scratch, launch them and hope, wait for the results, kill the losers and keep one or a few winners. And then you would stick to this system. And I did this so much. It came to a point where we were doing 200 different creatives a day. Every single day we would launch 200 creatives. And this was for one brand. We were active in 4 markets and we did them so for 4 different languages. So technically it was only 50 different creatives per day translated to the different markets. But still, we sat and brainstormed like, what could we do now? We did different variations. Oh, let's change the hook. Oh, no, let's change the headline. Now let's change like, and we would just go around and around in this loop and just focus on production. But the new way has moved from production to precision. It doesn't really matter the volume. Of course, volume is good, but it's not only about volume like it was back in the day. How it works right now, the new way is the ad evolution loop, as I like to call it. The first step is to spot the winners. And if you don't know how to do this, then this video is not for you. You know which ads work. And then you decode them. You find out why they work. Then you discover the new angles, you create and launch them, and then you evolve. So this is what I want to go over today, and exactly how I do this. How I've gone from creating 200 creatives a day to creating like 10 or 15, and I'm outperforming what I used to do. So, spot winners. Again, if you don't know how to spot your winners, if you look at ROAS, if you look at POAS, if you look at CPA, you need to be able to spot your winners. If not, learn to do that. I'm not going to teach you. Second step, decode your ad DNA. So ad DNA is every brand has a DNA. Like you have a DNA and I have a DNA. Like I can't just say before after picture is gonna work great and this is your audience. Like you don't want to sell to everyone. You don't want to include everyone. You want to know exactly who your targeted audience is, who you're targeting, age, gender, hobbies, and then here you can really go down the line of how well you know your audience. And the better and the more specific you are, the more targeted they will feel when they see the ad that you've created. You're going to be able to create such a better ad if you know this very well. And then what's going on in that? Now that you know your audience, that's not an A for audience, you need to know your creative. What's actually going on in the ad? So this is assuming that you already have ads running. This is not for finding a winning product, okay? You're making money, you want to make more. So what's going on in an ad? Visually, psychologically, audio-wise, like what's actually happening? And you need to look at it and you need to understand it. Now, looking at one video is going to be very hard to see any type of pattern. So all this is pattern recognition. You can't look at a video and say, oh, this, like if I do with brunettes and they're outdoors, they're sitting like half indoor, half outdoors, the sun is shining, they show the product 8 seconds in, this was the hook, this was the angle, this was the tonality. Even though you can break everything that down, it doesn't really make sense because there's no pattern. It's just one. You need to do this for all of your ads. And yes, this is going to take hours and hours, but it's going to be worth it. And then you see, oh, the next girl was brunette, was blonde. And then, oh, I did a UGC with a guy. And then, oh, I did a high production video. Oh, I did image ads. And then that was before, after. And then I did a social proof. As long as you start to see the patterns, it doesn't really matter. You need to do the research. So this is just understanding. And you truly need to understand before you can create. So let's do an example here. Here we have the hoodie. I don't really read copy. I know I'm bad, but I don't really do that. I actually watched the video. We're not going to watch this video now, but actually watch the video and try to understand everything that's going on. And what I do is I just watch the video and I write everything down. I write the things like making breakfast. She had this pajamas and this was the type of kitchen in the background, and then she held the cappuccino here, or she held the Coca-Cola here, or she like try to notice every single thing and do that for a couple of ads, and you're going to start to see patterns. Now, the type of kitchen she has, maybe that's not too important, but don't just not look at it. Just write it down, and over time, the evolve step number 5, you're going to quickly learn how to make better ads. So now that we know who our audience is and why the ads actually work, we can try to discover the new angles. And we're not going to do young women who want to feel cozy. Like if we look at this ad, it's a young woman that want to feel cozy and has pajamas all day. No, that's not an audience. This is not an audience. This is the old way. The new way is, it's Clara, she's 25 years old, she has a boyfriend and doesn't want to have an AC on, so she's tired of waking up drenched in her boyfriend's sweat because he doesn't want to have AC, but at the same time, he's sweating a lot. She can't fall asleep as well. She can't fall as well. She can't fall asleep while freezing, and she wants to walk around all day with PJs. She wants to feel cozy. And like, you can list these things about your audience. And here is where I see so many people go wrong. They are so scared to target and like exclude other people that they just sell to everyone, and no one feels targeted, and no one feels like, oh, these truly understand me. But this is a big misconception. Like Calvin Klein doesn't target overweight people, but still, I'm sure that overweight people buy their product. They have David Beckham on their ads. They have like super ripped guys in underwear and oiled in, like, because they know that this is our targeted audience. Maybe not the people that's actually going to buy every single time, but if we target these people, we're going to attract everyone else. So if you hear target Clara 25, I'm sure that Veronica 45 is also going to want to buy. So don't feel scared to like hyper focus on a specific person. You're not going to lose the other people by not saying everyone can buy this product. They want to feel like this is for a person that they either are or want to become. So from here, now that we know everything, we can try to figure out what are their dream scenarios, like what do they actually want to achieve here. So We can sell to the dream scenario, which is sleep undisturbed. We can take away from the pain that they have, which is having a before after. And here's where we can do the actual concepts. When we know what they truly want, when we know what they're scared of, when we know all of these things, we can try to figure out the actual concepts. And here you just have to brainstorm. This is the brainstorm part again. From here, when we have, okay, sleep undisturbed, before, after, all these kind of concepts, we can actually create and launch the ads. And we do this with image ads because we still want to have a pretty effective tempo. We can't now go to UGC Creator and then, oh, record this video. We have to validate that this actually works, these concepts. If we don't do this with variants, we're not going to have this image and then change the headline. No, that doesn't work. Not anymore. So here's 3 different image concepts. One that's sleep undisturbed, that really gets this feeling of this specific person. And then we have the before after, that really gets the feeling of maybe this image wasn't actually that great, but you get my point. And then seasons defeated, like another concept, like this is all selling to the same person. If I go all the way back here, this is all selling to the same audience with different states of how aware they are. Maybe all of these ads were actually problem aware, and we have different concepts and different angles to the problem aware audience. And these 3 ads was that. And then we'll do the same thing for another state and another angle and another type of audience, older people, younger people, and we'll creatively diversify our content. And this is the system that you should be using now. And the last step is the evolve step. Here, after you know what works and what don't, you can deep dive with video formats, and of course you restart the loop. Now, after these image ads have launched, you'll identify the winners, you'll decode those creatives, what was actually going on in those creatives, who were they targeting, you'll come up with new angles, you'll launch new image ads, and as step 5 of the winners, you'll create different concepts or deep dive into with video formats, and you'll restart the loop again. And this is the ad evolution loop. And of course, AI can do all of this for you. There's a software called Stardust that I am a co-founder of. We are launching October 28th. So if you're watching this before October 28th, you can just use the free version. If you're watching this after October 28th, 2025, then you can actually let Stardust do all of this for you. And I have an example exactly for the UDI here. So you just get your winning ad formula from the UDI, and it breaks down the ads, and this is based off the public ad library. So it breaks down your ads, the best performer ones. It captures the key moments, and it completes your ad DNA for you with your audience, with everything else going on in the ad, why it converts, why it could be better, and it just does this for every single thing that's going on in the ad. And then it gives you the winning formula. It detects a pattern. 100% of your current winners are simple image creative that sell instant, cozy at glance. And then it gives you the new angles that you can test, and then it explains why they work. And then they do the creatives for you. So this has closed the ad evolution loop just with AI. And it does this within just a few minutes. And then here you can get, with this angle, different variations. And as you can see, the variations aren't headline like pixel different. They are completely different variations with different angles, so that we actually play into the hands of the Andromeda update. You get new angles with the new concept, with the new audience, you get new angles. This is for the Harry Potter collection they've launched, I guess. And then you can, you can just keep going. And here you can chat with your ads. This is not going to be an ad about Stardust. This is going to be just something I want to show you if you want to have AI do all of this for you. You can do that. But regardless, if you do it with AI or if you do it manually, you need to start evolving your content and move away from the test and hope syndrome. And hopefully, just within a few weeks, you'll be able to crush Black Friday. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment if you want more videos where I just no script go over my systems and how I use things. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, take care. Peace.